want to welcome you to the war zone. Yeah, I got my beer here with me. I got my whiskey sitting to the side. I got my friend Donovan Sadiq in the building. Demetra K in the building. And I'm the 5-star general. Yeah! Welcome to the jungle tonight. Goddamn white folk that lost y'all mind up in D.C., man. Let's get to it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Welcome to the jungle. Ain't no news going on today, but the news we know about. But we gonna talk about it tonight, man. You know, welcome to the goddamn jungle, man. Y'all is in D.C. acting like some animals. Y'all acting like some animals. And I don't understand it. But, you know, maybe you're fighting for a good cause. Yeah! What's going on, Donovan?
Hey, welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the War Zone, where we have one of the greatest conversations on the net. If you guys been watching the news today, it's been on all over the networks. You have to be basically dead not to have heard what has happened. It has finally been confirmed. White people have lost their minds. We knew it all along. But before we get into that, just in case you guys hadn't heard, the Democrats did pull it off. It was not a major blowout. They did take the 2 seats in Georgia, and Joe Biden did announce his attorney general. If you guys remember, Marlon Garrett, he was announced for the Supreme Court by President Obama, and Mitch McConnell said, nah, we ain't even going to talk to this dude no matter what. And he was blocked for over a year. So I'm going to let Demetra give you guys the goods on what happened at what was Black City of Washington.
Yeah! So hello, everybody, and welcome to the War Zone and welcome to the jungle, okay? So before we get started, if you all can do us a favor and share so everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we would greatly appreciate it. And welcome to Facebook and YouTube, the other side of the conversation. All right, so today, I don't know, I guess it was kind of a regular Wednesday. I mean, I know they were supposed to go ahead and certify the election, but we knew, you know, I think it's upwards of 200, you know, Republicans. They said they were not going to certify. They're going to reject, you know, the electorates and all this other stuff. And Pence, who Trump was looking to, you know, usurp the Constitution and not certify the election, Pence said, hey, you know what? Trump, it's been a good ride, but I ain't going to be able to do that. Like, I'm not going to override the Constitution. After he did that, he dipped out of there. And then shortly after that, so, you know, everybody went to go kind of count the votes and all of that. And shortly after everybody left the floor, if you will, all hell broke loose. I'm telling you, I had people calling and texting and inboxing. You see what's going on? Turn the TV on, and sure enough, mayhem had, or I should say hell, had bust wide open right there in Washington, D.C. Now it is said that upwards of 30,000 Trump supporters, the MAGA crowd, showed up to D.C. And as you guys saw in the videos and the pictures, they, you know, got into the rotunda. They burst windows. They actually got onto the House floor in the Capitol, and you had the audacity to put their feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Amongst a whole other things. And I should also say that a lady was shot to death. She was shot in her chest, and she was transported to the hospital where she then succumbed to her injuries. Now, I don't know exactly who shot her and what happened, but one lady was shot. Now, the question that came out, and that constantly came out from people all over, was like, well, where is law enforcement? Where are they? Why are they allowing these people to just be off the chain, right? And then there's photos going around of police officers actually taking selfies with some of, I don't want to call them protesters, I don't call them thugs, with some of the thugs.
Terrorists,
all of that. They were taking pictures. And so we are going to get into what we know so far. So you guys hold on to your hats, because we are now.
Hold on to your beer. Hold on to your beer. And I like to call them insurrectionists, because what they did was actually insurrection against the United States government. That carries a death penalty in some cases. It is one of the worst things you can do, because you are basically trying to overthrow the government, which makes you a traitor.
Right. So, Gary?
Well, I'm sitting here with my beer, looking at my Republican homies like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Now, I'm going to be serious for a minute. Now, I get it. They upset. They feel the election was stole from them. But didn't you steal an election 4 years ago? You and them Russians? Did, people cut up like that? My main thing that really just irked me to the fullest was when black people and good white people peacefully protested police brutality and cops killing people. They beat the hell out of them. They brought the National Guard in. They did everything in their power to get things back to normal. And now today, we sit and we watch you show us that it ain't no way in hell we can ever think that we coming together with y'all. It ain't gonna fucking happen. There are 2 sets of constitutions. I don't know what the other one is. There's 2 sets of rules and policies on how you deal with this. With the police officers, I saw restraint. I saw your training come into play today. You didn't bust a motherfucking grape in a fruit fight. But when you bring your ass down to our neighborhoods where we want to protest you killing us, then you are ready to kill everything in sight. So I want to make sure that people understand this. I got to go to Cleveland next week for a rally. And I wish a motherfucker would. I wish you would put your motherfucking hands on me. Your tear gas, all that shit you got coming for us. You ain't gonna fucking do it. So today, what they showed us, not only, this is what I feel, not what these other 2 good people feel. The United States of America is a fucking joke. You're not the strongest country in the world. The Russians were sitting back watching you. So 30,000 motherfuckers with some flags, some pipes, and they can storm the Capitol and take this motherfucker? Putin sitting back like, fuck it, let them tear it up. We come in next week and take the whole motherfucking country. That's how I feel, man. What I saw today was a fucking joke to the fullest. And black folk, y'all need to wake the fuck up, man. And for all you gangster ass politicians that was on the floor hiding under your desk, don't come around us flexing your muscle no more with your good coward ass. The Secret Service is some punks. The FBI up there that's working with them is some punks. I'm just telling you what I saw today. But anything else, you come down with everything in your power. Donovan.
Yes, absolutely. Did you guys notice that to fortify the Capitol, there's cameras everywhere, so everybody that is took part in this insurrection should be prosecuted and rounded up without any questions, because we got them all on camera and stuff like that. Do you know that in some of the omnibus bills, $600 million was given to reinforce the security of the Capitol and the legislative building and all this other stuff like that? You mean to tell me millions of dollars have been given, our dollars, that they take from us that we need right now to eat, and all they had to do was take a flagpole, bust through the window, and get inside? All the money we've spent.
It was a setup, bro. I know somebody that was in D.C. Sunday, and you couldn't get close to the motherfucking buildings. They let them people in there today. They was there Sunday. They know the whole layout. They couldn't get within 100 yards of them fucking buildings. They let them fucking people in there.
Well, here's a funny thing too. Everybody, this is what we talk about when I say critical thinking. Remember about a month ago, Trump said, "See you January 6th." 4 weeks of warning, 4 weeks to be ready. They asked the mayor of DC the day before yesterday, a couple of days ago, are you ready? She says, yeah, I got the National Guard ready. Everything's ready. I told these people that. They went and arrested the guy from the Proud Boys. You're thinking, okay, these guys are going to be ready to go, because if they're going to protest peacefully, that's fine. And the police are supposed to be there to protect their right to protest and to, not make any incidences. But here it is, come the 6th, and nobody's there. It's like the 5-star said, nobody's there. Nobody's like, this was set up to do that. And these people walked up there. Now, they had some uniformed Secret Service members. I don't know if you guys saw the video today. I wish I could run it right here. There was a black Secret Service member. He had his gun pointed at this white boy, young white boy. And then he holstered his gun and picked up a baton as the white boy came toward him. Now, if that was a black person and that black person flexed on him and came toward him, what do you think would have happened to that black person? He would have been shot dead on the spot. But there's a famous NWA song called "Fuck the Police." And one of the lyrics in it is black police showing out for the white cop. Why is this black policeman retreating from this white person that is not supposed to be in the building unauthorized and is threatening violence or looting? Why didn't he fear for his life? Why didn't any of those officers fear for their life? And then, did anybody notice any mass arrests? There wasn't that many arrests that took place. So, we really got to look at this and say, wow, this is amazing. Demetra?
Just witnessed.
You guys keep going because I'm taking notes from what they're saying on the Senate floor.
I totally agree with you, man. I've seen, and I was in Minnesota when they did the big march for George in Houston, and I remember having to call HPD at 9, 10 o'clock at night to tell them to tell their people ease up on them protesters, man. They peaceful. They peaceful, man. Beat them, sprayed them with mace, threw them in jail, all that shit. But today you didn't bust a grape. So it proves what I said from day one, that when the protest popped initially, they would never drop napalm on the protesters because you had white folk in the middle of it. So here's the rules of the game for all of y'all that like to protest. Please call your white friend and tell him to come with you. You get away with any motherfucking thing then, because they ain't gonna do shit. They in the business of killing black people. They ain't in the business of killing good white people. What we saw today proved it. So all we're doing is just talking about what we saw, which is proof, which is fact. They in the business of killing black people. And when I talked to my good friend Demetra today, she reminded me of something. She said, law enforcement ain't gonna do nothing. They want this to happen because Trump gave them carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they want to do. So some things may change. I mean, today, the Democrats got some ammunition, man. They got ammunition to do some things, and that's a whole nother story. Because if they don't do shit in the 2 years that they got it, it'll prove some more points. So the thing is, if you're going to protest, look, I'm giving you the fucking blueprint. Find you a white friend, let him come and scream, yeah, throw up his fingers, drink his fucking beer, and they ain't gonna put their fucking hands on you.
Yes. And also, did you guys notice that the mayor immediately, when shit was getting out of hand, put out a curfew at 6 o'clock? Lo and behold, 6 o'clock comes Eastern Standard Time. The white people are still in the area. But then I always ask myself the question, where's the CBC? What did the Congressional Black talkers say? Oh, we need to pray. Y'all be peaceful now. Ain't that what they tell us? You didn't hear one statement from the Congressional Black Congress. Silence. Nancy Pelosi hiding out and stuff, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess at how they do it. But notice the law enforcement people, some of them, like you said, were taking selfies and were just doing nothing. And they caught a couple of them that had their white Aryan symbol on their flak vests. So these people are complicit with a lot of these people, because it isn't like they didn't know January 6th, some shit was going to pop off. And tonight, they supposedly are still going to vote and, do whatever they do and get it over and done with. But Donald Trump actually went out there and incited these people to do what they did, which is a crime. So add that to Donald Trump's list of crimes. But like the CBC leader, Jeffries, said, I want to look forward, not back. I want to look forward. So if you don't prosecute this guy for what happened today, what's going to happen next time? The good thing is Mitch McConnell told it like it was and said, you were blown out, basically. Go look at the tape. It's on YouTube. Mitch McConnell gave a speech and said, Trump, you were blown out. There was no way that there was any fraud in this election. Stop telling these lies and all this other stuff. But it's not looking good. And Black people, one thing I did learn from watching this, these politicians ain't going to do shit for you unless you start letting them know, if you are not going to represent me and do what I need you to do, then I will start representing myself. And that's what you saw happen today. White folks said, nah, fuck that. We're going to go ahead and handle this ourselves. And the politicians scrambled. I was looking for Sheila Jackson Lee crown to just go come flying off. And, she was
on the floor. I got the on the floor hiding. Say, I want to answer John Decker's question. Love the show, but Mr. Monroe, are you still a Republican? The Democrats ain't gave me a reason to come back. Now, it doesn't matter what party I'm in, because I ain't gonna do nothing stupid any motherfucking way. So, until they give me a reason to come back, I'm not coming back. So I'm gonna say, man, I kind of felt bad for some of them, man. They in there hiding and, under the tables. But you know what I would tell them if I could just have a good conversation with them? You did this. You're part of the problem. You didn't reel him in. You didn't check him. The Republican Party was supposed to check him a long time ago. You allowed him to become the monster that he was. You could have shut him down from day one. So all he did was just keep doing what you allowed him to do. So, the thing is, I don't understand how all these federal violations have happened today. These federal violations have happened today, and somebody in politics ain't in some goddamn handcuffs. Because if one of us would have did it, we'd have been in them handcuffs. I don't give a fuck if he Donald Trump or not. This shit done went on too goddamn long. And you know what? I'm going to call some folk out tonight, man. Y'all don't mind, do you? What the fuck you militias was today? Y'all like to protect property. When the black folk go to protest, my militia brothers, y'all pop up out the woodworks. Where y'all was today, man? Is it black and white? Or is it just when we raise up, it's a problem? I'm just asking. I got love for a lot of y'all, but I don't see you making no comments. I don't see you saying shit. And that's what it is for me. Demetri.
So I was just taking a moment to listen to what was going on the Senate floor. They have reconvened, and it started off, from what I can tell, because I was trying to pay attention to everything. Basically, Pence was like, let's get back to work. We will not be, bullied. We're going to do our job and all of that. And McConnell said the same thing. We won't be bullied. We're going to follow the Constitution to the letter of the law. And he says criminal behavior will not dominate the Senate. And then Chuck Schumer took the floor, and he said, and I jotted it down, so bear with me. He says that he, Pence, McConnell, and Pelosi came together, and they decided that they will come back and finish the job. He says today would be one of the darkest days in history. It is definitely a stain on America, and it will always be that. He called the people, he said they are not protesters. They are rioters, thugs, goons, and domestic terrorists. And he also said they should be prosecuted. And then he blamed Trump. And he says he has brought this country to the brink of ruins, by his rhetoric and just, the stand by and whatever it was he said. And, even in his tweets now, I don't know if you guys covered this, Twitter. Now, you guys have a Twitter account. Any and everything goes on Twitter. Like literally, you can be scrolling by and see people screwing. Okay, that's just how wild Twitter is. But Twitter has suspended Trump's account for 12 hours, and they removed a few of his tweets because he was pretty much throwing gasoline on the fire and kept ginning up the mob. And so it's the president of the United States having his Twitter account suspended. That is huge, because even after the election, they were just kind of censoring him or saying, okay, this is not true, correcting it with different things, but they just completely have shut him down, really to stop what we have seen now. And Trump is not interested in this stopping at all. This is what Trump wants. He is one of those people, you guys know him to be a little bit on the sadistic side, where he's probably completely getting off on the fact that these people who are his supporters, these MAGA people, are willing to tear up, democracy and, the country behind him. Now, there's so many people in Pence and a lot of people, even to this moment, people in his cabinet are jumping ship. They're like, you know what? This is above my pay grade here. And really, they're trying to salvage what reputation they have left. Definitely, as I was listening right now on the Senate floor, the tone is a lot different. There's not all this rah-rah that was going on before this happened. I think a lot of people have gotten humble, and maybe they have really realized, like, wow, like, it's not just Trump that's responsible for what we see today. It's a lot of the senators, Josh Malley. He's to me, he's like, besides McConnell, he's one of the, I think he's from South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. But he's one of the wackiest, like, he is just on some extra level BS. So it's not just Trump that has this situation the way it is. It's a lot of people who, co-signed his behavior instead of saying, hey, you know what? Pack your shit. You and Melania and Barron need to pack y'all bags and just make it do what it do. And so, a lot of people have brought up the 25th Amendment, which says that when a president is unfit to lead, they, the Congress should take over. And it's like, okay, might this be the time to do that? I mean, he's got 2 weeks left to really continue effing up stuff if he really wanted to. So at some point, I think they all need to say, you know what, together, whether we agree with Biden or Trump being president or not, we need to come together and revoke all of his powers and say, hey, go do what you do, because 2 weeks is a lot of time to continue causing damage. And if you guys think this is over, just wait till after they, certify Biden tonight as the winner. It's going to be nasty. Gary?
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Why do you think that he's acting this way, besides the fact that he's crazy and all that other stuff? But is it because of the fact that once he leaves office, he is facing a lot of lawsuits, civil lawsuits? And the word is he is planning to leave the country because Air Force Two has been booked to go to Scotland near that property he owns, that golfing property out there. But the prime minister, the second prime minister in Scotland, said that we have a pandemic restriction. So if that fool comes over here, he'll be arrested. So he's not welcome there. And he wants to go overseas to avoid being served these civil documents. And then, they were saying, well, maybe he'll go to Germany. A lot of our friends overseas do not want the baggage right now with all the stuff that they're dealing with. So how many of you guys remember that meeting where Trump pushed that guy out of the way and got in the front and stuff? So, a lot of people don't want him there. He can't go to Mar-a-Lago. I know a lot of you guys are facing eviction from the pandemic, but I want you guys to be a little sympathetic and pray, because this man is basically homeless come January 20th.
Well, I'll say what everybody thinking. Fuck him. Look, let me say it like this here so I can go on and get my block, because I get blocked for silly shit. The last time I got blocked, it was a few months ago. Remember, I had like a 7-day block, and it's because somebody reported one of my videos from 5 years ago. Minister Louis Farrakhan was kicked off of social media for trying to uplift his fucking people, and the best that Twitter can do is a 12-hour block. A 12-hour block. What this man did today was a violation of human rights. They need to take this to the fucking UN. This man endangered so many fucking people that it was unreal. And I'm just telling you how I feel, man. Look, they got 2 sets of fucking rule books for us, man. When we gonna figure this shit out? This man did some shit today. They in there certifying the motherfucking votes. Soon as that shit over, y'all need to go on and impeach this cocksucker right now. But you know what you ain't gonna do? You ain't gonna do it. So who's to blame for all of this? The Republicans? The Democrats? The voters? Who's to blame? I'm gonna tell you, let's start with your Republican motherfuckers, because I got love for you. But it's better coming from a friend than from a stranger. Y'all ain't got the nuts you supposed to have. You supposed to check this clown long time ago. But see, you were having fun. Strong-arming motherfuckers. You were having fun with McConnell, who is powerless come January 20th. He's harmless. He like a fucking fly. I think he's gonna retire. The Democrats, you in bed with the Republicans. You in bed with them. You rock with them, man. The voters. You motherfuckers voted this dude in office, man. Then you put it on the black folk like we were supposed to get him out of office. We didn't put him in. It wasn't our responsibility to get him out. So now you live by the words of the great one, Malcolm X. The chickens are coming home to roost.
And I want to address Montrell. We say, now is the time to get what we want. Well, first, let's define who this we is. And if you're talking about we as Black people, this is the time that we will get absolutely none of what we want. I want to tell you why. I was just having this conversation with my daughter earlier. So now the Democrats run the House and the Senate, and y'all handed him and Kamala the presidency and the vice presidency and didn't ask for anything, right? So you would think if they really wanted to do something for Black people, they'd be like, well, sure, we got free reign to write as many checks as we want because we are running Washington per se, right? But they're not going to do that because this election in Georgia, Black people showed up again to get what? Like, what are you giving the Democrats the House and the Senate for if you're not going to get anything for it? So when you say now's the time for us to get what we want, please define we and what exactly do you want now? Okay. And this is, to me, what we're seeing is white supremacy's last stand. Now, Gary was saying how, nobody really stopped them, the Democrats or the Republicans, because whether people believe it or not, there are plenty of white supremacists in the Democratic Party. And Joe Biden is one of them. Always has been and always will be a white supremacist. And so they understand, as wacky as Trump is, they understand what he was doing. And that's why you see all those white people out there. I bet y'all ain't seen no Black MAGA people out there. I mean, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Oh, you saw one?
Yeah, I saw a couple. Yeah, I saw a couple.
Okay. But so to them, this is their last chance to, keep it white, making America great again, keeping it white where white people were in total control, but they see what's going on here. And Trump was their savior per se. I mean, I keep hearing all these commentators on the news say, oh, well, Trump has been feeding his base lies and, telling them things that weren't true, all these falsehoods. I'm like, are they completely stupid? Now, I know they are to some degree, but at what point do you say, well, I've taken civics classes and that don't sound right. Well, Trump can't really do that. I mean, what point do you take control of your own brain and say, okay, while I love Trump, he's wrong. So yeah, it's some of Trump's fault, but it's the people who just willfully wanted to believe the lies. But I think they knew it was lies, but they're like, okay, well, if this is what, but see, this is what I was talking about yesterday. They are on code. Even if we dead wrong, if we got to burn this mother up to get what we want, we are on code. We are going to stick together to get it. Period.
Them motherfuckers must be listening to Tupac. They must be listening to that revolutionary music, Public Enemy or something. Cause they lockstep. They gonna get on. They get. You know what I always tell people? That if you believe in what you fighting for, then fight for it. I can't never get mad at nobody for that. But the thing is, they've showed you what unification looks like. 30,000 deep. 30,000 at the drop of a dime. And we can't get 7 niggas in a car without somebody shooting somebody over the bag of weed. You see what I'm saying? We can't come together, man. So for me to y'all, I think it's time we all get the motherfucking Uber boat and we move back to Africa. Let them motherfuckers have this place. Tear it up, burn it up, do whatever you do. Yeah, burn it up. Listen to all your crazy ass music. Cause rap music don't make you do no shit like what y'all. The man went in Pelosi's office and put his foot on the desk. The other one stole the motherfucking podium.
He sure did.
Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, good white people. That's some white boy shit. Black people trying to find Pelosi purse. The man steal a podium and smiles for the camera. Yeah, he listening to smile, bitch.
Yeah, and that's what killed me. They didn't even have the sense to have masks on and cover their faces and all that other good stuff. But that's just white folk from, because they just figure nothing's going to happen to them because they control their politicians. But Claude Foster says $2,000 stimulus. Then we have 2 years to pass the George Floyd Act. Why would it take 2 years when we own all 3 parts of the government? Why would it take 2 years, Claude? And $2,000 new Voting Rights Act and $15 minimum wage. He can do all that within a month. We control all 3.
The George Floyd Act ain't got no goddamn teeth in it. Let's just be honest with it. It ain't got no motherfucking teeth in it. Just because black people stood up for it, that motherfucker ain't got no teeth in it. Can you go past the Woody the Wino Act? Because we might have more teeth in that shit.
But the funny thing is, Claude, I just kind of confused because you do realize that the Democrats control the presidency, the House, and now they have the Senate. So why would we have to wait 2 years to do anything? We can do it all right now, and there's nothing they can do.
So let me ask you a question. In the last 12 years, have we seen this before? We saw that in Obama's first term. Am I correct? So that's why I'm just sitting back to watch how these motherfuckers fuck this up. So y'all can, I'm gonna make it correlate for you. Basically, the motherfucker got all the aces and all the tens for the next 2 years, and you playing blackjack. The House cannot beat you. Watch they fuck it up.
Exactly. And since we're talking about numbers there, for all you guys that are, doing the political thing and making all these excuses for the Democrats, let's put a vote of reparations on the floor. They can do that. They can do anything they want right now. I'm just asking for a vote. Just put it on the floor. So what's going to be their excuse?
So if they put it on the floor, can it actually pass now? They ain't gonna do a goddamn thing.
Yes. And see, that's what I don't understand, Claude. I mean, obviously, you know a lot about politics, but what was the whole point of going through all this? And here's another thing. I want to address Black Girl Magic. I said it on my show earlier, my podcast earlier. I was talking about it in regards to, what's his name? Warnke. the guy that just won the Senate. Okay. Yeah, whatever his name is. Here's the thing. If he does not have a specific Black agenda, how dare, number one, this man sit and use Dr. Martin Luther King's pulpit and doesn't have a Black agenda? To me, that's egregious. That you always throw out Martin Luther King and that you're at his church and you have no Black agenda. Then you use our story.
Well, do your research on him. He doesn't support reparations.
Exactly. And he uses the story of 75% of us have, oh, I'm a single parent. I came from a single parent. I'm from the hood. I had to be on student loans. 75% of us have that story. So if 75% of us have that story, how do you go to Congress and not do one thing for your people? And I know he isn't in there yet, but I congratulated him and I put him in there. But here's what you guys got to understand, Black girl magic. You guys act like, especially you people in Georgia, that this guy just had a mandate to go in there. He won with 1% margin. If he loses any Black votes and nothing is done, he is a one-term senator, period. And that white woman who ran a terrible campaign is going to come back on his ass, and these white people are going to be galvanized. If you thought last 4 years is going to be bad, oh my God, wait till these next 4 years.
Jeffrey McFarland asks, who don't believe in reparations? Your Black guy that just won the Senate seat in the state of Georgia. He doesn't believe in it. He's not going to support it. See, that's why I'm telling y'all that if they try to take it to the floor, it's going to expose some Democrats that don't want us to have it either. They're pushing it all on the Republicans, but there are multiple Democrats that do not support reparations, and some of them are Black.
And, I saw that Sheila Jackson Lee has been touting H.R. 40, which is a study of reparation. I've seen in the last couple of days on the news how, she wants to bring it back. And it's like, come on, Sheila.
Didn't she write that motherfucker when it was motherfucking slavery?
You stupid.
And the funny thing about that is California has already passed reparations. So what's the big deal here? What's the study going to do?
Well, so they're talking about it just like they've talked about the George Floyd bill and, the anti-lynching bill. It's all symbolism just to give you Negroes something to chew on. Oh my God, they're going to pass an anti-lynching bill. It's so monumental. Oh my, what? So what? We already know that lynching is a capital one offense. It's capital one murder. If you lynch somebody, it's already there. So why do we get so caught up on an anti-lynching bill and HR 40 and like it's all symbolism? Write the damn check. If you were serious about helping Black people, and they keep saying, if you go on Twitter today, they're talking about, oh, we owe it to Black people. Oh, Stacey Abrams, she really came through, and this, that, and the other. And it's Black women again that helped flip Georgia. So it's like, okay, you guys are all saying that. Now put your money where your mouth is. Write the check to these Black people who continuously put you in a position of power. Like they haven't been in this position since Obama, where they've owned all three, and they can go in there and say, hey, you know what? It's time for reparations, and they can completely pass it, but they're not going to do it because, for one, Rontrell, I want to address you. If Joe Biden said he's not passing reparations, Kamala says, no, are you kidding me? I'm not going to do something that just only going to benefit Black people. And there's a whole host of people, including Raphael Warnock, who said he's not interested in reparations. And so here we go saying, okay, well, there's the first Black senator from Georgia. But what does that mean for Black people, especially if he's against reparations? So what you going to go in there and do is the bidding of white supremacy, like most of them do. So we need to stop getting wrapped up on, the symbolism, the Black girl magic. Oh, we did that. What did you do? What is that? Define that you did, right?
And wait. And if it's Black girl magic, why did Doug Jones lose his seat? You guys were the ones that put Doug Jones in there and started the Black girl magic bullshit.
Well, I'm not really for sure of all the, the reasons that he's not in there. And then I want to also address this too, because I keep, seeing all over the place. If those were Black people at the Capitol that were doing that, they would have did this and did that. Let's get it into our heads, okay? These laws were never written for the benefit of Black people. Of course, if that was Black people up there doing that, they would have cleared, they'd have aired that place out and they'd have been back to business 30 minutes later. We are not like white people. We do not have the same luxuries as white people do with white privilege. And as soon as we realize that and we get on code and stop voting for oppression and actually try to move our balls forward, we won't care about none of that. We won't have a reason to be up at the Capitol storming and protesting and all of that, because we'll have our ducks in a row. So let's get it out of our mind that, we should have the same rights that they do, but we don't, and we never have.
As I've been studying law for 2 years, because I major in criminal justice, I get to look at some things, and some days I sit with the book open and just like, damn. The whole judicial system was designed to protect rich white people. It says it in the book. Open a motherfucking book and you'll figure it out. It was designed to protect rich white people. So the Constitution that we live under is bullshit. I don't hope y'all don't get offended. But if you do, fuck you. That's how I feel. White people some days are the dumbest people you'll ever run into. The reason I say that is back when they decided to do the Constitution of the United States, you had some of the dumbest motherfuckers in the world sitting in that room. Because they thought that Black people would be slaves forever. No matter how they wrote it, they thought we would be slaves. 94 years later, they figured out they fucked up. And I'm going to tell you, they fucked up. I know they fucked up. You just ain't thought about it. See, when they figured out that the Black man could piss in the same toilet as the white man, the motherfuckers put whites only on the motherfucking toilet. They wrote that for them. This was not our country. We were considered 3/5 of a man. All this fly shit they want to teach your kid about the Declaration of Independence, stick it square up your ass. You did not write that for us. We were slaves when you signed it. So how in the fuck do I live in the state of Texas and it's still on the law books that you can hang a man for stealing your fucking horse? But yet every 2 years these people convene in Austin to deal with laws. So the only bill that I'm looking forward to, and I'm going to testify to it, is the Crown Act. That's the bill I'm looking forward to, because the rest of that shit is bullshit. And it ain't gonna go nowhere. It ain't gonna go nowhere. I'm just telling you what it is, man. It ain't gonna go no motherfucking well. So all this faith y'all got in black girl magic, we got black girl magic down here. How many motherfuckers done violated their judicial canons? They black judges. How many of them done violated their judicial canons? That mean they not fit to be a motherfucking judge. Just because you black don't mean you qualified. Oh, I'm saying, fuck affirmative action on some levels. Just because you black don't mean you qualified. And some of y'all that sit in them seats, the reason that you're not qualified is not because you don't have the book sense. A whole bunch of you motherfuckers got the street sense. But the reason that a lot of y'all ain't qualified because you don't have common sense. To see where we are as a people and not go in the motherfucking state houses and fight tooth and nail for us, you ain't on our side, man. You a wiggle, a white nigger.
You know, a lot of people will throw out statistics and try to come with receipts talking about, well, Sheila Jackson Lee's district is only 30%. I don't give a damn if there's only one black person in her district. How can you be a representative and be a black person and come from sharecropping or wherever you go? I know she's an immigrant, so I'm not worried about her. But as the warlock, your parents were sharecroppers, and you don't do one damn thing for people who have the same story that you do that are trying to get out of poverty. Why do we keep electing these people, and we're cool with it. I live in a state where Maxine Waters, right now, she's only a congressman. She's in Washington, D.C. She's being driven around in a limo with a driver. She lives in Calabasas, California, next to Dr. Dre. And by the way, Dr. Dre, oh my God, sorry to hear it. I hope he gets better. Blah, blah. Save your masters, brother. I think that's what happens when you let your wife, you're still smashing your wife and you're going through a divorce. Don't do it.
He tweeted today he'll be out the hospital real soon.
Okay, good. So like I said, it's all about that money. But again, what does Donovan say on this show? Money makes the world go round. And what is the biggest thing that affects Black people and our plight? Lack of resources, money. You got 3 houses. Please tell me, anybody in this comment section, why we can't get reparations voted for, or even just passed any legislation right now. Why do we got to wait 2 years?
But again, though, I'm more or less like, why keep getting mad at these Black politicians? Get mad at the people who keep sending them there. I mean, look at all the people who were just head over heels over, Warnock going to the Senate, that he's the first Black man, to go to the Senate since the Reconstruction era, and all is so what? But people keep putting these do-nothing politicians, especially do nothing for their people, politicians in position of power, and they go off and help everybody else. Like, he shouldn't have got nowhere near the Senate talking about, I'm not for reparations. Like, what part of that turned Black people on to go vote for him? I mean, it is crazy to me that
it was perfect because they used Donald Trump as the boogeyman. That was it. Okay, we got to get Trump out.
I get it, but it just very disheartening to hear and see people talk about, oh, now we gonna hold their feet to the fire. Oh, now we gonna get something. Oh, we gonna demand them. Did you not listen to the leaked pimp tapes that came out a couple of weeks ago, where you heard Biden smacking Negroes around, talking about, how dare you? You better kiss the ring. I said what I said. Bow down to these Hispanics and do what they tell you to do. Like, what part of that were you unclear about? Joe Biden is not going to do anything for a Negro at all. And
did you see that he's already putting in his cabinet Republicans? Republicans don't put no Democrats in their cabinet. They're like, fuck that. He is putting in Republicans.
Well, Joe Biden has in Negroes this, and I know somebody got a problem with me calling you Negroes, but it's better than what I really want to say. I'm trying to be good, okay? But Negroes will run around repeating Maya Angelou. What does Maya Angelou say? When somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Joe Biden has been showing you who he is for 50 years. What don't you believe?
Well, I'm going to say this here. You say Warnock is the first Black senator since Reconstruction, right?
Well, voted in Georgia. In
Georgia. First Black senator in Georgia since Reconstruction. But he will not be the first Black person to hold a political position to fuck over Black people. Let's just get it straight. I'm not giving no passes. I'm not giving you time to do shit. You have the ability to walk into the Capitol and change motherfucking laws. No, McConnell can't stop you. You can't blame it on him this time. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So don't get your panties in a bunch. The only thing I'm going to say, man, send that 2,000, man. Send that 2,000, man. Or was you just blowing smoke up our ass, Joe? I watched his speech today, and I really was not impressed when all this shit was going on. I really was not impressed with his speech. The shit sounds good, but where the fuck were you hiding at? Was you the designated survivor? Them people did not break into the corner store. They broke into the Capitol building.
And put their feet up on Nancy's desk.
And stole the goddamn podium.
And stole her mail.
They took the woman, man. If I go try to get somebody mail out their mailbox, you sending me to the federal penitentiary. The man put the letter on social media. The man stealing mail. And the only thing they gave a damn about was a staffer that made sure how they voted on the electoral. They made sure that didn't get stolen. Say, man, my good white people, you need to get on the phone, call up the Mayberry or wherever, what part of the hills these hillbillies come from, and you need to get with your folk, man. Cook them some marrow guts or something, you know, and let them drink some moonshine and calm their ignorant ass down. But if you thought today was a motherfucker, wait until they certified. And we know that the motherfucking moving trucks is coming. It's finna be hell to pay the captain, man. But guess what? I need y'all to stay over there in y'all neighborhoods with that. Because over in ours, we got a new saying, on site. On site. Say it with me, Demetri and Donovan. On site.
On site.
And what that means, if you come over here in our neighborhood with that shit, we busting your ass on site.
Then see, you know, I actually believe, Demetri and Five Star, that the Democrats fucked up, and they fucked up big time, because now that they control all legislation going through Washington right now, and they can do whatever they want, it's very hard for them to point at the Republicans as the problem and the obstruction. You know, so with 55 congressional black talkers and a margin of about 12 to 22 votes between legislation passing in the House, technically the CBC can control the legislation if they want. So for all you people that are on the everybody train, if nothing is being done specifically for black people and there's no specific black agenda, how are you going to justify nothing for us? And you're going to see DACA, Dreamers, LGBTQ, so on, so forth. He's going to rebuild the middle class. That ain't you, Negro. 70% of all black people live at the poverty level or below. So when he's talking about the middle class, he's talking about his white people. So you guys that are, you know, just love the symbolism, you're going to have to explain how nothing got done specifically to black people in these last 4 years. And after these 4 years, if we don't get nothing, we're back to square one again. So we got to start all over. So, you know, you guys better hope things go the way they're supposed to go.
I see Angela and pop back in, and she say people need to step up if they want to be a part of something. We can't help who keep getting in the seat. No one qualified. Bullshit. What we need to stop worrying about, did they go to a HBCU? Are they my soror? Are they my frat brother? Did they graduate from Harvard? I tell you this here, I didn't graduate from Harvard. I'm not going to a HBCU. And I'm the most qualified son of a bitch you could ever lay eyes on to ever sit on a school board. That's bullshit. We control who we put in them offices, man. But see, some of us are just too raw for MTV and too black for BET. So we can't sit in the seat. I'm telling you right now, I'm not putting no motherfucking suit on the campaign. I'm wearing my sweats. So you're going to respect my motherfucking gangster. That's how I feel. Now, if you can't respect my gangster, then go on and keep dealing with what you're dealing with, and they're going to shut all your black schools down. So what you want to do? You want to hang out with a cigarette smoking, beer drinking, foul mouth motherfucker that know what the hell he talking about? Or you want to keep dealing with these makeshift ass politicians that don't know their motherfucking head from their ass?
Some of your most effective presidents had a mediocre education. Abraham Lincoln wasn't that very literate. He basically taught himself. So it isn't really about how much education you got. It's really comes down to how much common sense you got. And a lot of people, common sense isn't just common.
I was looking for this picture. I can't remember which senator it was. It was a female senator, but it was a picture of her sprawled out on one of the, I guess, the chairs. She was sprawled out on the chairs as the rioters, the thugs, were storming into the building, and I was just cracking up because it's like, it's all fun and games when you in there playing with people's lives on a daily basis, but then when whoever it is it brings the noise to your front door, it's like, oh my God. I mean, they were consoling her, and she probably really thought she was gonna die, but it's like,
yeah, this is it.
Maybe it's a wake-up call,
I want to address this comment, Gary. They're going to keep dealing with anybody but you. Let me say this real slow for you. If you live in the city of Houston and you have to vote in the school board elections, I don't give a fuck if you don't vote for me. I got a motherfucking diploma. I'm not hurting. All my motherfucking kids is out the school system. Now, you can keep doing what you're doing, and you can keep voting for the motherfucking racists who shit in your face, shit in the black superintendent's face, won't educate your black kids, won't give them what they need to actually be fully functional as a student. But you don't have to vote for me. And that's the motherfucking problem. I'm too raw. And you got good people out there. I don't know how in the fuck. They say Jim Clyburn delivered the election. I'm gonna tell you, I looked at it and then I thought about it, and no, Stacey Abrams. I don't know how the fuck Stacey Abrams ain't in somebody's fucking cabinet at this fucking point. But see, she too raw on certain issues. They don't want nobody like that. You don't want a strong motherfucker. You want a weak one. You want somebody that's gonna stand in your face and lie to you and placate you. See, I'm gonna tell you right now, in the next 2 years, Demetri and Donovan, they are gonna close black schools in the city of Houston. Now, I understand the numbers. I get it. But let me tell you how I feel about it. Now, you ain't gonna close all them black schools. What you're gonna do is close some black ones, some white ones, some Latinos, and a specialty. But you ain't gonna close all them black ones. But the numbers say it's gotta be what it gotta be. But I say keep voting for who the fuck you vote for, because I could give a fucking care less.
No, I mean, she has a good point. They want everybody else, who's not going to do the job. It's symbolism.
Let me say this here. One more fucked up comment from you, Carlos, and you out the motherfucking building. You can go on a motherfucking hiatus too.
Yeah, but there's, unfortunately, people like to vote for symbolism. We want the feel good. We say we want stuff, but we don't really want stuff. Like I said, I was talking to my daughter earlier, and she says, we just want to be in the building. As long as we in the building, we rubbing elbows with people who we wouldn't ordinarily rub elbows with. It's like if you get invited to a big soiree, where you wouldn't ordinarily get to go, a friend, who has an extra ticket, say, hey, I'm going to this upper echelon thing. Would you love to go? You get up in there and you're touching everything and you're looking around like, oh my God, you're starstruck because you see somebody. That's us. We just want to get into the soiree. We don't want to be on the planning committee. We don't want to say, hey, invite my peoples. And when my peoples get in here, make sure they get a good seat at the table and they get some of the premium. We don't do that. We just want to get in there and rub elbows with the people who have been, keeping us away. And so take
that celebrity picture. Take that celebrity picture.
Yeah, but until we stop doing that, we're always gonna get nothing. Like this is for black people, this is highly not what these crazy people are doing today. But this whole election season is very embarrassing for us as black people. We have helped deliver the Senate, the House, and the presidency, and we don't even have a chicken bone to show for it. Like what? How could you be proud of that? This is so. You ever know somebody could tell when somebody ain't used to going somewhere, or somebody who ain't used to having stuff? That's us. That's us. I just wanted to be a part of it. But you didn't get a part of it though. Like they control all of Washington now. They being the Democrats, because that's who Black people vote for overwhelmingly. They are like, you know, the Trinity. They are the Holy Trinity.
Do you know what's funny? The only group that really got a W out of all this and got the big win was the Hispanics. They didn't do nothing and they got the big win.
Right. But so the Democrats, they're the Holy Trinity. They got everything. They can do whatever they want, especially for Black people, and they're not going to do that. And Black people help them get into that position.
Well, we don't seem to have a clue when they screwing us. We don't mind them screwing us, just they Black, so let's let them make it. I ain't with that, man. So I mean, I agree with you. We ain't got shit out the deal. We ain't got shit out the deal for damn near 70 years. That's why I'm saying, I mean, he may be the first Black one. Warnock may be the first Black senator from Georgia since Reconstruction, but he ain't gonna be the first Black motherfucker to fuck overs. We gotta stop, and that's one thing I'm not gonna let nobody keep doing. Stop blaming these white folk for fucking over us. It's you Black people. We could say Democrat, Republican all day. No, it's you Black people that's fucking over us. One, you don't go in there with any fight in you. You ain't fighting as hard as you say. You play games with your fights. You try to make us believe that you fighting when the whole time you already knew you wasn't. And bottom line, man, fuck them Black politicians and them folk. They full of shit, and that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time. Like I said, we are the only group that put other people before we put ourselves. Why the hell are we out there worried about damn kids in cages across the damn border that didn't get here legal? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not no monster or anything, but when are our leaders or our servants going to be worried about the Black kids in cages right here in the United States? I mean, isn't that more important, self-preservation of our own before we worry about other people? But matter of fact, that guy Castro of the Hispanic caucus, they're even trying to change the narrative. Like if you watch CNN and all these shows and they got the Hispanic person on there, they always, the Hispanics, we were the ones that really, got the presidency for, everybody takes our story, but they don't want our consequences. Everybody comes here, oh yeah, they're moving our neighborhoods, they love our story, but they don't want the consequences. Oh, wait, well, I'm not Black, I don't want to get shot down, I'm Hispanic. But we're the only people that let them do that, and then we wonder why we keep getting L's.
Jeffrey McFarland says it best. Man, fuck them immigrants. We need to be worried about Black folks only. Jeffrey, you're exactly right. My Latino brothers, and I've said it 1,000 times, they don't stand up for us when we need them. Why? Look, man, I'm already pissed off because men lie, women lie, numbers don't. A motherfucker that ain't supposed to be here, that done snuck up in here, got 1,800, and I got 6. Where you do that at? Where the fuck you do that at? He ain't supposed to be here. If them people find out of here, they gonna put his ass in a cage and ship him back where he came from. But he gonna go back home with 1,800, and I got 6. They ain't debating and lobbying for us to get more than 6. Say it is what it is. I'm standing up for mine and mine only because that's what everybody else do. You don't see the Asians nervous today. What the Latinos saying today? See, because we're going to be the victim of all this crazy shit. They ain't finna attack them Asians and them Latinos. They're gonna come to the Black community. Well, they're not gonna come to the Black community, but they're gonna attack the Black people because of all this shit that's going on. That's who they're gonna attack. So no, I agree with you, my brother. I can't stand up for them either.
Yeah. Right here in my district, my representative said, when they were talking about the $600, I'm going to vote for $600 today. And, it's the Republicans. They're always blaming somebody else if it doesn't pass. But he tries to show you, look, this is what I'm doing. Motherfucker, get the job done. But I said in the comments to him, I said, what the fuck were you doing voting for $600 to begin with? This is California. $600, that pays for my air conditioning. And everybody jumped on board with that because it's like, yeah, why are you voting? You know, what person in the 21st century gets a bill introduced to them and says, yeah, $600 is enough. That's enough for everybody.
Hold on. Let me address this here real quick. I ain't mean to cut you off, brother, but I gotta address this shit. Those are lies. Hispanics helped turn Arizona. I don't give a fuck. I live in Texas. Did they help turn Texas? It's a whole bunch of illegal motherfuckers up here in Texas. Okay? And helping kids caged at the border is a humanitarian event. Well, helping black people murdered by the motherfucking police is the same, ain't it? It's not benefiting any legal Hispanic. I don't give a fuck. Let's get it straight. You come here, you become a legalized citizen, you get the right to fucking vote. They have to renew my fucking right to vote every 25 years. Where's the motherfucking fairness in that? And while you here and you're illegal, you take my tax money to fund your shit. So no, don't come here with that bullshit thinking I'm gonna stand up for kids in cages when black people have been murdered, slaughtered for over 400 fucking years. You worried about their families being separated? They separated our families at slavery. They separated my families in the 60s with the welfare system. You separated my families with the dope game in the prison system. And now you're separating them with child support. Fuck you with a big fat dick.
Yeah, but
let me just say.
Yeah, let me just say this real quick. You notice immediately he goes to the racist, you're this, you're that. Black people, number one, can't be racist. But he goes to that because what we're saying is true.
So I want to say this. I don't know. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. How you doing, by the way? So it's not that anybody specifically is against Hispanics. That's not what's going on here. As you might see, a few people in the comment section saying B1, black first. All we're saying is this: we as black people need to start thinking about black people first. Now, you might be familiar with him, Felix Tijerina. He was the president of LULAC in 1956, and he said, I am not interested in helping the Negro do anything. I am not interested in helping to unify with the Negro. Let them fight their own battles. Now, that was a Hispanic gentleman who said that. And so I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with him saying that. You're supposed to be about your people first. Now, the problem with the kids in the cages is, for one, they shouldn't be there. And let's get it straight. The Obama administration started the kids in the cages. This does not start with Trump. Okay. But the bigger problem is, like, we're not mad. I'm not mad at Hispanics. What I am mad at is my people. You know why I'm mad at my people? Because we continuously vote in our people who we think are going to do something, and they don't. You have the Congressional Black Caucus, who are supposed to legislate for black people, and they do everything but. They speak more about DACA and the Dreamers than they do their own people. And so when we say that we care, we don't, it's not that we don't care about the kids in the cages, but to Gary's point, we've got kids in cages. They got the school to prison pipeline. That's where they go. They go from the school to prison, which are cages. We got a lot of our young people in cages unjustly. Some of them are, doing life at the age of 16 or 17. So don't get it wrong that we don't like Hispanic people, but we need to start liking ourselves first. And then you say we're a bunch of racists. Well, I want you to know that it's impossible for black people to be racist because we do not have the ability to control in an adverse way any other group of people. We don't control the education system. We don't control economics. We don't control government. We don't control any of that. So we cannot affect you. Now, you're more able to be racist than me because your people, fortunately, they own grocery stores and their own businesses. And so if I were to go in there and apply for a job, you know what your people are going to tell me? Oh, we're not hiring. You're not going to see no black people in your stores or any of your places of businesses, and rightfully so. You know why? Because it should be Hispanics first. So when black people say black first, don't get mad. Don't call us racist. Understand that we are just trying to do what you guys have been doing, which is why you guys are taking over the United States, but you guys are on code. And so that's the results of being on code. You get what's yours, and you even get the legislators of black people to legislate on your behalf over their own people.
Say, man, ain't nobody around here kissing their ass. Y'all winning, bruh. You winning right now. You want me to worry about your motherfucking kids in the cage? Then worry about my kids in them juvenile justice centers. Worry about how they fucking over my kids when they go downtown in them juvenile justice centers. Put them on all that goddamn paperwork on some dumb shit. You worrying about your kids in a cage? Then worry about the fact that I live in the city of Houston where they've been racist against black children forever. We changing the names of buildings? When we gonna change the name of Barnett Stadium? Straight up motherfucking racist. Why don't you name it after the first black trustee had it made white? Well, you name the building after, and you shit on us in that building every motherfucking month. So we got our own motherfucking issues. Your issue ain't my issue. And I'm telling you straight up, your issue is not my fucking issue. You put your kids in the front, and I'm gonna put my motherfucking kids in the front. My kids been in cages longer than yours was. Did your bitch ass take a boat ride? Did 90% of the motherfuckers on the boat ride die? Or was you just sitting on some land and they came in and strong-armed your ass out of it? We was stolen from where the fuck we was from. You don't have 400 years of oppression. And guess what? If we want to be prejudiced, racist, whatever the fuck we choose at this point, that's what the fuck we can be. We didn't write the narrative. Them cocksuckers did.
Absolutely. Absolutely with that. And, again, you could come to this country, 11 million of you are in another country. Like I said, if I went to Mexico right now and I'm doing what you guys are doing here, ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. I'd be in a prison. I'd be locked up, and it's the worst situation for anybody to be in. But what you guys have done, by having your own businesses and practicing group economics, you have the power to buy politicians. And that is how you are getting your legislation and stuff done. All we are saying is Black people who started, we had all these groups that we just walked away from in the 60s. We were doing all of that. The blueprint that you guys use, that's what we were doing. Everybody looked to us to do it. The civil rights movement, I mean, we wrote the blueprint of that. And you guys have come here, taken our story, taken our struggle. You didn't move into Beverly Hills when you come from over the border. You move into the Black neighborhood. My neighborhood used to be all white. Now I live in the barrio right now, and I don't mind. And half of the barrio aren't even legal. Could I call and get them up out of here? I sure could. But hey, no, I don't need to do that. They want the American dream, get the American dream. But why is it that you want to change the narrative when we're talking to our people about what we need to do? Nobody's hating on your hustle. Just don't hate on ours.
You know what's so appalling? That one of the insurgents, with all this fucking bullshit that's going on with the Proud Boys, ain't he Latino? What the fuck wrong with your people, man? But I bet y'all ain't checking him in public. I bet you ain't doing, and me, I really feel like they shut him down so he wouldn't be there to go to jail today. That's the only reason they did it. Man, we don't owe you motherfuckers nothing. And that's what it is. I don't want no fight with y'all, but I ain't been downtown, and that shit maybe 5 minutes away from me, where they got the place where they holding the kids. I don't believe those babies should be in there. I don't believe those families should be separated. But it's not my fucking fight. And you're not going to call me a fucking racist because I don't believe that your fight is my fucking fight. When you bring your ass over to my community, instead of buying up the property like y'all doing, because y'all slicking the motherfucker too. You helping gentrification too. Say, man, don't come at me with that shit. And if any one of y'all want to see me, let me know. I'll pull up, partner.
But see, you know, I mean, I hear everything y'all saying, Donovan and Gary, but I'm just going to keep saying this. I think our anger is misdirected. How in the hell are they buying up these houses? They buying the houses because, for one, we selling off grandmama and them house. We don't keep the house. And then they move in and so I'm not mad at that. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson has been telling us to do.
But you know what I'm more mad at, D? Is that every time we try to address racism, we become the racist because we call it out. Fuck all of them.
Listen, the problem is this. Hispanics, Asians, and white people have always, but they see our position in society. We are now at the bottom of the totem pole. My dad used to say this as long as I can remember as a little girl. He says, Hispanics are the new, excuse my French, for anybody might get mad, they're the new nigga. And they know that, and they don't want to be, they said this years ago. And so they're working and working and working to get above us. They have passed us in population. They got their money together. Hell, you can go in any neighborhood and see at least 2 or 3 Mexican supermarkets. How many black ones do you see? Like I said, when I was living in California, I had to drive 75 miles to go to a black-owned grocery store, and it was still a franchise. And so they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're just emulating everybody else in the way they treat us. Like the girl in New York who was messing with the trumpet player and his son, she's Hispanic. And she says, I'm not white. I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Puerto Rican.
Yeah, so they're emulating white supremacy. They are wannabe white supremacists. In a lot of cases, they are worse than white people because they want to make sure we know that they are better than us. But again, I get the anger, but we need to turn that inward and say, hey, you know what do we need to do so we can get from being at the bottom of the totem pole? Like what are they supposed to say? Well, listen, Negroes, I know y'all was here first, and we know, no. We don't want to buy your grandmama house. No, go ahead and keep it because, you know, your grandmama wants you to keep the house. We want to do the right thing. Hell no. Donovan would tell you he's the last black man in his neighborhood, one of them, and they come knocking on his door for his house all the time. Now, how many Negroes would have said, well, hell, the house is paid off. They going to give me a good penny. Let me go on and sell it. A lot of people would have did that, but Donovan, for one, that's his family's house. And 2, he knows that if he leaves, then there goes not, to be like that, but there goes the neighborhood, and no black people will be in that neighborhood.
Well, let me ask a question, because Pac, I listen to Pac, whether it was on wax or in movies. Have you ever had a conversation with a Hispanic brother or sister, and you said something about Mexico and they got offended? I've seen it happen a bunch of times. Well, if you love that motherfucker so much, what the fuck you keep sneaking out of that bitch for? What the fuck you keep sneaking out for?
Coming over here to get the opportunities that everybody else is leaving on the table. Now, I'm not going to say that black people haven't gotten a raw deal. Hell yeah, we've gotten a raw deal. From the moment they put our asses on those slave ships, we got a raw deal, but we are now in the no. Again, like, I don't make no excuses because our ancestors, right out of slavery, they made a go of it, and they were doing better than we're doing right now. In 2021, they were doing far better than we are now. And then they came out of slavery with absolutely nothing, with the white man with a white sheet on his head, right? And sometimes a white horse on their ass. They made something out of nothing. And so I get it. We should be mad to some degree, but let's be mad at us for continuing to, for one, as I say, vote for oppression. Ain't no white man in that White House is gonna save our black asses. No, none of them are gonna do that. That is up for us to do. And the Mexican, a Hispanic, whoever, they're coming over here, and they're coming over here in solidarity. I know Black people who have a monstrosity of a house. It's 3 of them in the goddamn house with 6 bedrooms, and I don't want, I just can't have everybody living with me. But a Mexican would bring all of 10 of his family members in a 1-bedroom house, pool their money together, and go buy another house, and pretty soon they own the whole goddamn block. So that's how we need to start moving.
Yeah, my neighbors next door, 4-bedroom house. There's 8 cars over there. But you know, it's not just the Hispanics either. It's not just the Hispanics. Now, after the Vietnam War, America brings the Vietnamese here and put them in camps on the military base. Camp Pendleton here on the West Coast. Asians were about 2 to 3% of the population in 1973 here in the United States. They are now at 9%. At 9%. And look at all the faux restaurants that are opening up all over the place. But again, the government gave them a stake. They were getting this damn student loan at 2.3% APR, and I mean really low loans, and they were helping them out. Now, who let them do that? White and Black politicians. So we got to get the right people in there that are going to do the job for us. And if they're not going to do it, just like any employee performance report, you want a raise. When you sit down with your boss and you say, hey, I think I deserve a raise, what does he do? He looks at your performance. He looks at what you've been doing, how you do it. Are you on work at time? Which always hurts us. We don't show up on time. But and then based on that performance report, he gives us a raise or he fires us or whatever the situation is, right? We should be doing the same exact thing with our politicians. I'm not worried about the Hispanic politicians because I know that's a waste of my time. I'm not worried about the white person because I know that's my enemy. It's a waste of my time. I'm worried about the politicians that look like me. And I'm not giving, like the 5-star, I'm not giving nobody no passes. You're going to perform or I'm going to get your ass up out of there and get me somebody in there that is going to do the freaking job.
Final thoughts, Ms. Demetra.
My final thoughts are, as we started off, white folks have gone wild, MAGA gone wild. But I would just say this for for us as Black people right now, today, tomorrow, and a couple of days after that, keep your head on swivel. Don't let your guard down because these people are upset. They see their whiteness slipping away from them, or their position in society, if you will, slipping away from them. And there's no telling what they're going to do. And I'm not saying to rock around in fear. I'm just saying be careful. But also remember, as we said before, this ain't our fight. Let them white folks go tear their shit up and do all that they need to do. But we need to stay out of it. But most definitely, be careful. Keep your head up and your eyes open.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, we knew this day was coming. And on this show, we've been telling you guys for months. 5-star's he's been spot on. If you can get yourself and arm yourself legally or just get your hands on a weapon like most of us do anyway, you should not be out here not able to defend yourself. And I'm not saying go out there and start a ruckus, whatever, but these people are pissed off. And you just, when the time comes, I just want you to be ready. So you guys, just, keep looking around, protect your neighborhood, protect Big Mama, wash your hands, and just, and wear your mask and do the best you can. And like I said, and hold these people accountable, not when they get into office, before they get into the damn office, before.
My final thoughts, I'll say, let's not denigrate anybody, and remember what Dr. Muhammad said. But what Dr. Muhammad forgot to tell you is that I'm a center in training. He got a lot of work to do on me. So the best thing these people can do when you come on this show, man, I'm being honest with you, dog, because we can talk about it, we can agree to disagree, we can do all that. Keep your motherfucking mouth off my people, because I'm going to give it to you, bro. We ain't racist, man. Man, we done had our ass whooped for 400 years. And we still trying to be your motherfucking friend? Not me. I'm not trying to be your friend. I don't give a fuck about you, man. On the real, my final thoughts is, man, keep your head on the swivel. And remember what I say. If they bring that shit to your hood, on sight, bust their head to the white meat on site. Say another spirited discussion by the best in the business. It's the war zone, baby. I got a strange feeling we're gonna be talking about this again tomorrow night. These people for the cut up tonight, man. But I want to thank my good friend Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and Mr. I don't give a about your kids in a cage. 5-star. And until tomorrow night, I'll holler at you.